And welcome now to Eric Weisel Oval in Wagga Wagga, the capital of the Riverina, as some people refer to it.
And Country have 7 players in the side that featured in last year's victory. At fullback is Patton, Tahu and Moody the wingers, Gidley and Hughes the centre pairing, Hill and Kamali the halves, Kamali captaining the side. Ryan locks the scrum, Simpson Fitzgibbon in the second row, with Perry, Woolford and Parsons the front row. Off the bench, Morris, Stringer, Bailey and Feeney, their coach Brian Smith.
And the City Origin side all playing for those sky blue jumpers tonight. Hodgson the fullback, Almasri and Hopewati on the wings, McGuinness and DeVere in the centres, Braith and Astor the 5'8", Brent Sherwin the other player from the Bulldogs there, he's the halfback. Nick Graham the lock, Nathan Long and Steve Menzies the Eagles, they're there as well. Robbie Kearns the prop forward and captain, Mark O'Meara the other prop, Craig Gower, interchange of Darren Senna, John Scandalis, Matt Guy and Craig Wing, coached by Graham Murray.
This is the first representative match of the year, and it is underway with City running from right to left. And it was Scott Hill away for Matt Parsons on the first play of the night. 7 over Castrian, 7 Knights in the team for the Country. Add to that the combination from 99 of Kamali and Hill, and they've certainly got plenty of players. They know each other very well.
Ray, we've got a problem here for Nathan Long. He's hardly moved. He came into this game with headgear, got a cut on the weekend, and he's come out very sick and sorry from that tackle. As Fitzgibbon, strong charge over the 30. Referee about to stop to go back to make sure that Nathan Long is okay.
Yeah, poor Nathan, he suffered a heavy knock last week when the Eagles just beat the Dragons, and he's taken an early one again tonight and looks down for the count. Copped the elbow accidentally.
This is the safe way to go, and said he wouldn't believe that he'd be into this match after just a minute.
He would have been studying the form for tomorrow. I guess he's forgotten that form by now. Parsons now with his second hit up of the night, and Simon Woolford, one of the Raiders, kicking it down to the 10-metre line, where Brett Hodgson is the first of the fullbacks to get a touch. Hopewati, wonderful comeback for John, and also I suppose for Kevin McGuinness. Their story's well documented. O'Meara chancing the pass.
In particular, John Hopewati, Ray, hasn't played a rep game since Origin 97. That's New South Wales State of Origin, and it's great to see him back. He's been playing so well this year for the Eagles.
Gower offloading for his captain, Kearns. And they are on the halfway line now. The City side in the blue and gold, Country in their traditional maroon and gold, as this ball is back with Jason Moody. And he brings it out of the corner. Michael DeVere in number 4, Hazem El Masri, his winger on the right side.
Yeah, we got a little knock on there in the in goal from Jason Moody. The referee didn't pick it up, but the linesman did for sure. He got a late call, Tim Mander. This will be a goal line dropout now for the Country side. So the City team, an early chance deep in the Country's half.
That's very unusual. Jason Moody, one of the safest wingers in the game. Just got the little touch. Morley now finds just under 40 metres on the fly. Here's Kearns inside the 30.
Parsons and Simpson shouldering up in the defence. Good pass across the back there, picking up the City lock forward, Nick Graham. Now Gower with a nice ball, picking up Brent Sherwin. Sherwin and Anasta, the halves from the Dogs. As it goes through from Hodgson, picking up Anasta. And he's tackled over there just inside the 20-metre line. Country's end of the ground, pressure, O'Meara. Gower then. Here's the call from Sherwin, who puts a kick into the in goal. It's batted over the dead ball line by Patton. And it'll be another set of 6 coming up for City.
Yeah, lovely kick. Brent Sherwin's having a fantastic year. His combination tonight with Braith and Astor should surely help the City team as they get around the park, as will the Country's halfback combination of Scott Hill and Brett Kamali. They, of course, played together for a couple of years at the Storm, and Brett Kamali's best game all year last year was this corresponding match.
Kearns, of course, a member of that team that Paul is referring to. Here's O'Meara. for the benefit of our young audience. He's called Shrek by nickname. Graham firing it out along the left side and finding his left centre, McGuinness. Gow's pass was long. It's out with the Nasta. He turns it back for De Vere. And he is picked up and put away by Woolford and Ryan. Now it's with Sherwin again. He kicks and Moody goes back and he will be put into touch. It is going to be another line dropout. So really, Sherwin, this man on camera, he's dictated the tune from the start.
It's concerted pressure from the City side. Good chasing on all the kicks to date. City did get away to a tremendous start in last year's game. They actually led 10-0 before getting whitewashed. They're doing everything right in the opening minutes of this game. Again, Kamali will restart, taking his time coming across, just letting his players get a breather.
City started in similar vein in Bathurst last year. They bounced to a 10-0 lead early, and then Kamali took charge for country. Here's Gower now. Away for Sherwin again. The pass was obviously just on the line, on the flat line. As it goes from Sherwin again for Gower. They got numbers. It goes to ground. And it's picked up there by the country winger, Tamana Tahu. And a bit of aggression coming into the game from Hopewadi. Simpson let it go. Kamali finding Fitzgibbon. And they are just inside their own 30-metre line. They'll be saying to themselves, what's this we've got in our hands? Heavens above, it's a football. Parsons now, gritting the teeth and taking it up the middle.
And it's well documented that prop is one of the hotly contested positions with Jason Ryle's suspension. At least 3 props out of tonight's game will be named in the Blues side on Sunday night, possibly 4.
Kamali keeping it low, going down into the in goal for Hopewadi. And he comes out to the 10-metre line. Oh, he went straight through the number 3. It was Gidley. He swung an arm at him, but it was a half-hearted attempt to tackle by Matthew Gidley. Here he is. And it really was a nothing shot. And it just left himself open to embarrassment, really. Penalty goes to City. So they will come easily away off their 30-metre line. The penalty against Andrew Ryan, who was probably the most hotly contested rep player of some time when the negotiations took place last Sunday as to who he would be playing with. But the boy from Dubbo finishes up with the countryside. No score. City holding all the aces at the moment. Kearns played back for Gower. And now for Sherwin. Then a short ball for O'Mealy, running off a second pivot, getting himself out wider, but he was met there by Parsons. Now, Nasta fires one around the back for Hodgson. The Parramatta number 1 plays at 25 metres out from country's line. 14 is Darren Centre, Tigers captain, 20-metre line. Early call into the game for Centre. Now, Graham got up. Arm free, but then a beautiful tackle by Scott Hill. Last tackle now for City. They chip into the in goal, and again it'll be, I think this will be a 20-metre restart. No touch from country.
Yeah, just too much weight on this kick from Braith and Asta. The City team playing with a very flat attacking line, not much depth in their attack at all so far.
So Mark Hughes taking the second play. The first was taken by Moody. And now Simpson, who many people have got penciled into their Origin side as a second rower, but certainly he will rotate with the front rowers. Fitzgibbon, live and exclusive Wednesday, 22 May, Wednesday week. State of Origin 1, live and exclusive to 9. That's exactly where you're watching Friday Night Football. From Eric Weisel Oval here in Wagga on a pleasant night, which has attracted quite a good crowd. It's a hotly contested area down here between Australian rules and rugby league. Always has been. It's right in the hub of some very good Australian rules territory. but it has produced some wonderful rugby league players, one of whom is sitting off to my right. Gower now, offloading for Graham. He's been prominent, Graham. He knows there's a chance there tonight. Menzies is with it, one-handed, back for Gower to the halfway line. And he gets it away, keeps it alive. Hodgson now. Kearns, and back from Sherwin. Wide, but not really going too far. Centre, pops it back. Sherwin got it away. El Masri down the right side, kicks ahead. There's a try coming. It is Michael De Vere. De Vere scores for City. Well, I guess something had to come with the ball they had.
And they must have strung together something like 9 or 10 passes. I thought the referee might have had a look at where De Vere was positioned in relation to the kicker. Nick Graham has just slotted into the left side beautifully, as he does for the Sharks. Despite the attention of 3 country defenders, he keeps the ball alive. Steve Menzies, keep it going. Brett Hodgson up from fullback. There's a key ball here from Brett Sherwin. In fact, it's going to be the next one after this offload from Darren Centre. It's from Sherwin now, over the head. Now here's De Vere on the inside. El Masri shapes to kick. That's line ball, but the referee was on the left and in great position. He was directly in line, so he had the best vantage point for that call.
They kept the ball well. They supported the man with the football, and some great balls in there, but you've got to say some very, very soft defence on behalf of the country team. They could have stopped that movement on 3 or 4 different occasions.
And here's Michael De Vere from near that touchline. On its way, looking good, and the flags are up. 6-0 the score. City Origin over country, 11 gone. Kamali, as we say welcome back to Nine's Friday Night Football. And Robbie Kearns, just inside the 20-metre line, his own end. There's the possession breakdown, as you can see, massive towards City. Let's check the condition of Nathan Long, Andrew.
Yeah, only right now, Ray, as you cross, Nathan Long is returning from the dressing room. He's certainly not 100%, but they haven't ruled him out for the rest of the night. There is a chance he will return to the match.
O'Mealy, 6-0. There's Nathan. So Braithen Astor now with a torpedo that's going way, way down towards the 10-metre line. Stands up eventually, and here's the general, bringing it back to his 20-metre line. Canterbury fullback Luke Patton. 6 of the Dogs are out there in contest tonight. 7 of the Knights played by Moody now. And this is Fitzgibbon, just back from injury and elevated to representative level. That would no doubt be pleasing for Fitzy. Here's Parsons now. Almost to the halfway for Kamali. And this is Perry. Kamali one more time, getting his kick away, but Hodgson taking it on the full, then losing his footing. At top surface, a little bit greasy, according to Andrew, and in evidence there.
And Brett Hodgson really finding his best form of late. Probably a month ago, his confidence was down a touch, certainly in the last couple of weeks. One of Parramatta's best, got a swag of points. Fortnight ago and kicked that pressure goal on the weekend to win the game for them.
John Hopewadi now, as they go over the halfway line. Gower combining there with Graham. Graham, those boots of his heavily taped with white electrician's tape. At least it makes him a little bit easier to identify. Here's Patton. And then Moody coming in to combine with Tahu. It almost came off. It was a flash pass by Tahu.
Yeah, as a speculator, wasn't it? We just saw our own jumper flashing up on the outside. And Jason Moody, I think, actually takes his... Look, he does not expect to get the football. Takes his eyes off the football. And not happy, the Newcastle boys.
Yeah, I was actually going to question the pass, but it was a beauty. It got Jason Moody in the stomach. It should have been caught.
City deep inside country territory with their try scorer Michael De Vere. Pull back for Sherwin to head for that corner. That's Darren Centre. And there's the try line. Masri. Lets O'Mealy run as a decoy. Then Kearns, Graham. Graham's got Anasta outside him. Anasta stays back and out of it. And they are inside the 10. To the left, to the blind side. They numbered up there, Country. They did well. Organised their troops just in the nick of time. Hopewadi dummy half, ordinary pass. And there's Gower getting it away. Graham. He and Sherwin have been two of the standouts in the early exchanges. 6-0. Converted try by Michael De Vere. Sherwin kicks ahead. De Vere for number 2. Well, what a great start, as I said, for Sherwin. And Michael De Vere, I can't leave him out. Here's his second try.
Well, he's now a try-scoring machine. 1 last week, 2 in 10 minutes tonight. He timed his run beautifully, didn't he? And Sherwin's kicking game has been fantastic tonight. And De Vere got down hard, got down low. He dived for that football and came up trumps.
Here's De Vere trying to put all the kicks together with the tries. It is 10-0 and there is one of the men of the moment. And Kamali restarts again. That scoreboard is the same as it was at Bathurst. And I think the same time in the game last year.
And then all of a sudden, Country went bang, crash, wallop, and the game was all over at half-time. Produced a fantastic second 20 minutes of the first half. Hopewadi, another strong run.
And eventually...
Well, and I agree, that's a good penalty. Matt Parsons was just turning around, looking at the referee saying, you know, well, but he didn't make any attempt to get off Hopewadi at all. His leg wasn't caught, he had plenty of time to get out there and pull it out. Hopewadi struggles to his feet, penalty.
So here they come again. The blue and gold. And a second phase play generated by Kearns. Hopewadi. Strong. Gower one-handed for O'Mealy. Just outside that 20-metre line. Through now for Kearns again. Anasta and Sherwin will take it over now, I would fancy. Here is Sherwin. Comes back off his right foot for Hodgson. Hodgson for Gower. On the ground, bounce backwards. Picked up by Country. They pass and it goes back. The referee has found the ball has gone forward.
This is going to be interesting, Ray, because there was a double knock on, but he's given the feed to Country here. I'm wondering whether he thought there was enough of an advantage here, the Country team. Scott Hill picks it up, looks to pass immediately. Oh, well, in fact,
he's gone back back to the first knock on by O'Mealy. And here's a penalty going to Country, and it's against the lock. I fancy for breaking early. That's the indication. Let's have a look at it. Still in the scrum. Still in the scrum. And there they are with the real rule is they had too many backs.
And 2 changes made for the Countryside. Both props are off. Parsons and Perry replaced by Paul Stringer and Luke Bailey. Here comes Stringer.
Stringer in 15, Bailey in 16. Simpson, Parsons and Perry were the 2 that came off as Brian Smith rotates his big men. 13 is Ryan. Now Kamali away for Hill, and he intercepted by Kevin McGuinness. The City set up, they're not closing the gap, and McGuinness will score City's 3rd try.
well, Kevin McGuinness marks his return to representative football with an intercept try. Scott Hill, he loves throwing second-man passes, but on this occasion the defence, well, they were right up. Comes to Scott Hill, shaping, he frees it there. You can see Kevin McGuinness, he is actually closer to the Country defender than the man passing the football. And as play continues, he just plucks it out of the air. Kamali, he reacts. He was never going to put it with the speedster from the West Tigers. First time the Country got a couple of sets back-to-back.
Now Michael De Vere, who cut his teeth, I think, out in the Campbelltown area. He's missed it. He doesn't do that very often. 14-0. Kearns is off. 22 gone. Andrew Voss, sideline.
Yeah, the Campbelltown area having a big presence tonight. That man on screen just coming off the bench, John Scandalis. In fact, an old schoolmate of Kevin McGuinness. They were best friends all the way through primary school, through high school out at Sarah Redfern, out at Campbelltown. They make their representative debut together tonight. And really, the front row battle hots up now. Scandalis out there. You mentioned Bailey and Stringer off the bench, and Scandalis gets his first touch right now.
And takes it almost to the 20, and a well-earned break for Robbie Kearns, who for mine has been the best prop on the field in the opening quarter of this game.
Yeah, he's been very strong, Pete. He's been the most impressive prop, that's for sure. The main reason is he's getting the ball at pace. He's really putting in and getting to that line and causing a dent. That's a good run there from Scandalis. Look to offload.
To the halfway line. He played well against the Warriors. And Asta sending it down to Tamana Tahu. And Tamana tackled just outside the 30-metre line, where his Knights teammate Gidley gives it to another Knights, Simpson. Almost to halfway. There's the sponsors' big sign emblazoned there, Kellogg's Nutrigrade. They're entitled to a mention as the chief sponsor of Country versus City Origin. Wonderful sponsor of the game. Bailey, not without some chance of coming from an Origin bench position tonight into a sky blue jumper. Kamali, particularly with Riles out. And here is El Masri now. Hindmarsh, by the way, will be able to play on Sunday. He is recognised as missing this match as his one-match suspension. And Sunday we've got Parramatta versus the Sharks at 4 o'clock from Toyota. That is Nine's Sunday football. Parramatta Sharks from Toyota. Hindmarsh will play, and Riles, this match will count as the first of his suspension matches as well. O'Mealy. Anasta. Just got a deflection, I fancy, off the Country charge down. Patton on his own 40-metre line. 14-0 in favour of City. That's Gidley. There's Graham Murray, North Queensland coach, in front of the ARL chairman there, Colin Love. They're all perched up in the mezzanine seats at the back of the Harmon stand. As Bailey goes charging down the middle. And the sound of Manda's whistle sees a penalty for coming up with the boot. And it's against Shrek.
And this will be about the first time the Countryside have had good quality possession. Down in the City's 20-metre zone. They'll get there now through Stringer.
Why would you tap the ball 30 metres out
exactly,
instead of kicking and picking up another 10, even 15?
Simpson now. Played back for Simon Wolford. Now for Brett Kamali, and they run angles, people in motion. This is Feeney, and there's the line. Country now with a real chance. Bailey putting it down for Kamali. Back now for Wolford, out to Hill. Hill on to Patton. Patton away for Simpson. Simpson gets it out to Tahu. Tahu scores. Country are in. Their first try of the night.
And a good try it was. Again, keeping the football alive. There was an offload that went to ground. Brett Kamali was able to pick it up and find Simon Wolford. Steve Simpson loves playing wide to the right. Going in, ball knocked back. And then a little change in direction there. Simon Wolford did very well, so too Scott Hill. Luke Patton got in the pass just before the rushing defence found him. And Brett Hodgson trying to push the try scorer over the sideline to no avail. This is Bailey getting the ball away.
Yeah, and as a result, every City defender then sprinted up and came in to try and nullify the attack. And as a result, there's plenty of space on the outside. Sherwin comes in, so on the outside of him, another City player has got to come in. That's McGuinness. And on the outside of him, Hopewadi has to come in and try and cut it off. They can't do so. Good ball in the end from Steve Simpson. Nice pass out to the flying Tahu. And the Country fans loved it. They went up down that corner.
Now Kamali across the face of the uprights. So 14-4, 28 minutes gone. It's City in front of Country. Braith Anasta starts this next section of the game, the back end of the first half. This is Paul Stringer. Well, there's the possession, 61-39. And that really is replicated by the scoreboard, 14-4 in favour of City, but 3 tries to 1.
Ray, I think on top of that possession, you'll also find that along with field position, they'll have dominated. There you can see tackling the opposition 14-1. So when you're having 2/3 of the ball and attacking all the time with it, you're going to put on points. As this ball, fielded by Brett Hodgson, just a metre in from the sideline.
Heading for a 40-20. Hopewadi's start has been without blemish. O'Mealy. Now John Skandalis. Head of Bailey went back. He's just looking at the forearm. As
that was
City
touched.
Put the kick in. Patton diving on it just outside his own 30-metre line. Let's update the health of Nathan Long.
Yeah, Ray, Nathan Long just a few seats down from me, and just a shake of the head. Nathan Long will not be back tonight. I mean, that's terrible. Lucky's career debut tonight lasted all of 2 tackles.
Here is Wolford, and they've gone for an intercept.
First by Paul, then by Nick. First by Paul, and then by Nick.
Now he's ruled it double knock on. They're high-fiving there, the City side. So
Yeah, it's against Country here, Ray. He's saying that the first knock on was Mark Hughes, and then it was Nick Graham. Here's Wolford trying to open up a hole. He said the 4, but he actually must be talking about Paul Stringer, who's the
15, isn't he?
The 15. Oh, mate. Oh, he said Paul, not 4.
Okay. So Braith Anasta now. Trying to get around the outside of Gidley. He did that. The ball is there to be played on. McGuinness has got Hodgson with him. He's run away from Hodgson. Now he comes back. Where did you go to? He runs back in his direction to be tackled on the 20-metre line. He was in and away like a will-o'-the-wisp. Now they put it through the hands and they lose it. That'll be another knock on both ways, but this time it will be Country's loose head and feed.
That's some exciting play here by the City team. Country Rugby League fans out here in Wagga Wagga getting their money's worth, that's for sure. Seeing all the stars I only get to see on television play here tonight. Kevin McGuinness, he's having a big game. Going everywhere he was. Luke Patton gives a hurdling exhibition. He looked like Forsyth, Tim Forsyth, isn't it? The high jumper.
You're telling me
Sort of.
I got no, maybe Tatiana or one of those people. You're trying to think of her. Here's Ryan. Just outside his own 40-metre line. Wolford sending Stringer down the left side. Or should I say more correctly, down the left of the centre. Then Kumorley finding Feeney.
And he knows his athletes. Tim Forsyth is the man.
That's him. Here is Bailey. They gave him just a little sniff and he's making every post a winner at the moment. Kumorley. The kick into the corner. Hodgson looks up and it's maroon and gold jumpers flooding down on top of him.
Yeah, both halfbacks kicking very intelligently tonight. And I suppose on the kicking issue, maybe something we should have mentioned in the tight game. This certainly swings back to the City's favour. Consider they had a kick-off during the week between Hazem El Masri, Michael DeVere and Brett Hodgson, which was won by DeVere. Brett Kumorley, the first string kicker, and you'd have to say in a tight match that is not to your advantage.
I would have thought Fitzgibbon was...
Obviously he must have been on the he wasn't
Craig
on the
was off
field
at the time,
earlier.
Pete. That's why Brett took the kick.
I asked myself that question, then I looked out and saw that Fitzgibbon wasn't there. And Anasta it is who reefs it down the ground, and Patton watches it go dead. Braith assembling his structure. You take the right, I'm on the left. Save me going all the way over there. There's Bailey with his hand up again. Looking for work. 30-metre line.
Well, this next 8 minutes is hugely important to both sides. It's been dominated by City the first half. They could get another try. The match just about beyond reach of their opponents. But if the country could happen to get across and get within 4 to 6, they would go in fairly well satisfied with everything having gone against them in the opening first 40 minutes.
This is Andrew Ryan. Josh Perry made a good run down the left side. Kamali for Scott Hill, and heavy tackling. Around the legs was Menzies, over the top was Graham. Kamali now on the right boot. Hodgson under pressure. The jump is there and Hodgson comes down with it. That's a tremendous fullback take. Hopewadi now brings it away. Breaking almost right through.
Well, this is a great take, Ray, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because there's so much pressure there, but also the form of the pressure. Tamana Tahu is as good under the high ball as any player in the competition.
That is Skandalis. Gower back for Kearns. Started the game brilliantly. And back now for his second session. Zanasta puts a big kick down over the head of Tahu. Down into the in goal. Will it go all the way? It won't go. And there's a chance here. The tackle made. Patton's back into the field of play. Taken by McGuinness.
Oh, wasn't that a great tackle there by Steve Menzies? Fantastic chase by the Beaver.
What about the half volley?
And a beautiful pick up by Luke Patton, and did well to get back into the field of play.
Kamali now. And that's Perry. Bailey. Do you think they'll have Steve Menzies in the blue jumper, Paul?
I think it's a big chance, Ray.
Oh, what a kick.
That's a perfect kick. Beautiful kick there from Brett Kamali. Landed a bees inside the touchline. I think Stephen will be on the bench, Ray. He's a great acquisition to the bench. He can provide, the free running back rower that can make the breaks in State of Origin. He's a magnificent defender, especially front on.
Talking about B's knees, Ray. They're very, very skinny, B's knees.
Yes, I had never had any doubt what he's talking about, Peter. .35 out from the City line after a wonderful kick by Brett Kamali. Now Sherwin, who opened this game in a blaze. It's out to De Vere. He's got himself a double tonight. Hasn't been all that accurate with the kicking. As Graham goes down the right side. He had El Masri on his outside. They're on the halfway line, and Kearns is hit by an enthusiastic number 17, Jamie Feeney, who, when they warmed up in front of the crowd here, didn't have his headgear on. I've got to tell you, I had no idea who he was. Unless he's got that headgear with the white band on, no idea. Braithen Astor. 30 metres up. 20 metres in from touch. Kevin McGuinness finds himself a dummy half. If that wasn't walking off the mark, I'm not here. Sherwin. Very high kick. And a chance for City. And down to ground is loose. It's still a chance. El Masri for De Vere. Number 3. Number 3 is there. He will go to the video. There's probably plenty to look at. But at the moment, Michael De Vere has laid claim to 3 tries.
Yeah, plenty to look at, and we don't have a great view of this, but I think that it will all go against country. It appeared as though Luke Patton was the man who touched the football, knocked it back. City had every right to play at it. The pass definitely went back to Michael De Vere. It also appeared as though he didn't have much trouble grounding the football. Chasers are onside. No doubt about that. The 2 men going in, they are onside. Now does number 4, Michael De Vere, get that touch there? What do you think, Paul?
It looked to me as though he got a slight touch and it went forward.
And it is no try. It is no try. couple of young fans there, one from the Raiders and one from the Broncos. They are happy with the decision. Michael De Vere not. 14-4.
That's tops, Chief. What have you started?
So a let off there just in front of half-time for Country, because that was going to make it a sizable break to whittle down. Simpson backed up by Patton. 30-metre line. Own end of the ground. Kamali wrapped up by former teammate Kearns. Skandalis coming in over the top to complete it. Wilford for Hill, and then a one-handed ball back for Perry. To the right side for Scott Hill again, to the halfway line. He's met by Graham and Kearns. 10-point margin, fifth tackle, 46-metre gain there. That's Kamali. Just drops it onto that right foot, and Hodgson having a safe game, having a nice game at the back for City. Hopewadi.
Okay, there we haven't spoken much about, but he's a bit of an unsung hero tonight for City, is the dummy half there, Craig Gower. His service has been absolutely superb. He's played all of this year for the Panthers at halfback. He slotted back into his old role very nicely, and he's really got things flowing. That first pass. Really good return for Craig Gower.
Tahu just leaving his 10-metre line, crossing the 20. Trying to fend away from McGuinness, who hangs on. Back to Gidley. It's his position that a lot of people have puzzled over. Matthew Gidley I'm talking about, with the selection of Sean Timmins and Jamie Lyons. There is that school of thought that the centres have already been chosen. Perry.
Well, I suppose it does come in that you're talking about specialising. If you're looking at right centres and Jamie Lyon is considered the number one right centre, you've got a problem with the fact that that's the side that Matthew Gidley plays as well.
Supporting the argument. Patton. Hill to Kamali. The pressure on the kick. That's why it's gone skewing over there. And it is down with City. It's not going to make any difference, though. The bench looking on as the halftime siren is 20 seconds away. Look at that face in the foreground. And that's young John Morris from Newcastle. He must think,
Oh, he'll be sweating on getting a run.
oh,
Get me out there. And of course, in the background, we saw Mark Carroll. Over there, he's got some skills, but he's picked them up since he stopped playing.
so it is half-time. And it is 14-4. Braithen Astor in this contest tonight against Scott Hill. I'm positive the winner of that will finish up with a bench position in the New South Wales side. Restart. Sherwin offloading for Skandalis, and he's met by three of the Country players in defence.
Yeah, another good run there by John. And one of the interesting stats is time and possession in the opposition quarter. And a lot of ball for City, and this has come by with a couple of mistakes that Country have made. Also the great kicking game by Brent Sherwin, a couple of back-to-back sets with his short kicking game. And they're playing really well tonight, the City team.
15 for them. Skandalis again, grabbing his opportunity, using every available hit up and tackle. Sherwin's kick bouncing up there for Patton, and immediately he's taken down by Sherwin and De Vere. "30 metres out from their own line with Mark Hughes, another of the Knights. 14-4. 7 of them involved in the game. Here's Bailey. His club side going around against the Raiders on Sunday down at Wynn. As Perry reaches the halfway mark. Fifth tackle, 30 metres they've come. Little chip by Kamali looking for the bounce. He'll get it. And Kamali able to unload. Feeney has to go back to retrieve possession. And that is the end of the tackle count. So turnover. Brett Kenny there with Graham Murray. He's the first assistant to the coach. Paul Harrigan doing the same job for Brian Smith.
There's some great work from Michael De Vere in that last set of 6. He chased down with Brent Sherwin, as you pointed out, Ray, to make the tackle on Luke Patton. And he was the man that closed down Jamie Feeney before Feeney was able to offload and maybe get another kick away for the country team. He really does the little things well in a game.
Sherwin, Anasta, held there by Kamali. He's a big lump of a lad. Anasta is probably a lot bigger than you imagine. Standing up looking at him, he's a big lump of a lad. The City reaches the 30-metre line now. Played there by Nick Graham, who's done nothing wrong. Skyscraper from Sherwin, and it's been put down by Patton. And Kearns is able to pick it up and scoop it away for Skandalis. Skandalis inside the 10-metre line. Now from Gal. That is Darren Centre. Still they are close. 9 metres out, 10 metres out. Anasta sweeping it back, picking up De Vere. El Masri for Anasta. They come back towards the blind side. Kearns, El Masri. Now Sherwin off the outside edge. Oh, what a kick! And Hodgson is short. El Masri again goes himself. They'll hold him up. He lost the ball. And knocked backward, said Manda. They go for the corner, and I think Country might have knocked it down.
Yeah, once again, lots of tackles in the opposing quarter and nearly a try with his kick. This is one of these banana kicks they're all talking about. And Hodgson looked like he was going to score. The temptation was there to roll over and stretch out. In the end, some good defence by Luke Patton prevented that.
So 5 errors apiece. 14-4 to score. City with another chance. Anasta stepping off his right foot, met by the defence of Feeney up the top. And Hill down below. McGuinness is the dummy half. They're almost in the centre of the ground. To the right for Centre to knock on. Here it is. Darren putting it down. And from Wolford, it finds the hands of Kamali. Puts it equally between El Masri and fullback Brett Hodgson. He's been a wonderful player for his club side, hasn't he, Haslam? Josh Perry coming off. And all of that hustle and bustle down the other end of the park, we haven't gotten to Andrew as yet with his halftime summary. Yes, Andrew?
Yeah, well, there wasn't anything too startling out of the rooms at half-time from Brian Smith, the country coach. He just wanted to pick up the tempo of the match, in particular around the play the ball. It starts with the country play the ball, look to get to your feet a little bit quicker, just really pick up the tempo of the game to get back in this match. And from City coach Graham Murray, he was just hoping that they would begin this second half as they did the first, and I think they pretty much followed that to the letter, and we may now have a 40-20, so Graham Murray would be delighted with the way City have started this second half. On the injury front, the one casualty from the first half, of course, Nathan Long. I had a chat with him again. Let's just check this 40-20. No dramas about inside the 40, certainly from Braith Anasta, but I had a chat with Nathan Long, a rueful Nathan Long at half-time. Basically, the decision was made not to send him back out into this match after he also copped that knock last Sunday against the Dragons whilst playing for the Eagles.
It's a point that we probably didn't dwell on at all. The fact is that they're going to do it with 16. The City side, if they're going to do it, is McGuinness. It was a 40-20, and they're that close to the line. To the right now, Gower chooses to come to Skandalis. He's over. Skandalis picks up another try, and that stops. According to him, it is 18-4, City over Country.
Well, Ray, every now and then a bolter does appear, and John Skandalis has been superb in this match. Really deserves this, running powerfully, some very flimsy defence here. Jamie Feeney and Scott Hill. That's a poor effort. The big man reaches out. Just the desire, the enthusiasm. He got a try on the weekend against the Warriors. He's got one tonight. He's done it all by himself.
Yeah, look, he's been a good player, good club player for a long time now, John Skandalis. And he's stepping up a class tonight, and he's been as good as any prop out there. Good on you, Johnny boy. Deserves a try. He's run very strongly, defended well, and whilst maybe some players are playing their way into this New South Wales team, maybe some of the country boys or some players out there are playing their way out of a sky blue jumper with defence like that. That was just coat hanger stuff, very ordinary. Pats on the back, there's handshakes, there's high fives, there's low fives, there's everything over there.
Skandalis debuted in first grade against the Panthers, playing for the Magpies back in 1996. He has been around for a long time, hasn't he, really, John Skandalis, without making a big impression. But there he is on the bench, and he's grabbed this one tonight. Craig Wing.
His game's improved too, John Skandalis, to the extent that he's now can pass the football, can offload. So the defences have to worry about that as well.
Won't he have a picnic when he gets into this game? Craig, as fresh as a daisy, against some tiring forwards. Matt Guy hasn't been used either. And there's the conversion from Michael De Vere. So it is 20 points to 4. They've enlarged the break as we take one. As Country set off into this next section of the game, and City making it now a very difficult assignment. 16-point break. And though they're playing this game with 16 men, I just pointed out before the break, 2 of their bench players haven't been there yet.
Well, the only players they've interchanged, the only 2 reserves they've used have been Darren Centre, who was on after 30 seconds for Nathan Long, and John Skandalis. Matt Guy, Craig Wing have not yet got a start.
City with Anasta. He's been busy. Got very good service from Sherwin, though.
Yeah, let's point out that try from John Skandalis all came about as a good tackle made by Feeney. The ball gone loose. That all came about because of that booming 40-20 kick from Braith Anasta.
Hodson eventually having to go back and put boot to ball, and his opposite number brings it back to the halfway line. Patton, now Feeney. Tough assignment, I suppose, meeting a big man like Skandalis on your own line, head on. Not many get through Jamie Feeney, but Skandalis did. Morris is on in 14. It's come from Patton, quick hands between the Country players, and then Feeney loses it backwards. There's Kamali. Moody now, tackled 30-metre line. Kamali acting hard, kicking wide and kicking right into the arms of Matt Geyer. Speak of the devil, Matthew is out there now. Here's Menzies. Good tackle, punishing tackle from Scott Hill. Geyer. Did he lose that ball in getting up to play it? Gower. That is McGuinness over there. Buffeted by the defence. Just fancy Matt might have dropped that ball getting up. Played there by the captain Kearns. And Nasta. Big kick, and Moody read it. Comes back towards the 30-metre line. Clean break by Moody. Followed by Kearns eventually. It's Morris. A problem for Luke Bailey, Andrew.
Yeah, he was replaced about 90 seconds ago. A bit of concussion for Luke Bailey, so it remains to be seen whether we'll see him again in this match. He'd been going pretty strongly for the Country pack. Look, I'm not about to tell Graham Murray how to do his job. There's Luke Bailey on the bench, but I think this is a selection trial. I think Craig Wing deserves to get a run right now. I mean, he deserves more than 25 minutes in the match than that's what he's confronted with now. Only 28 minutes remaining, and he's yet to get a run.
Kamali turning it inside for Stringer. And Amanda has picked it up. Ball lost. And he will pack a scrum down. And again, the City players are applauding each other, encouraging each other. Don't know that it got any help. It may have got a little help, but gee, you've got to have some responsibility for your actions. City come up with a scrum. This is Matt Geyer. Younger brother Mark. Melbourne Storm player Graham. This is the 13th meeting of City Country Origin. And it is 7-5 in favour of the City boys. Centre. Hard tackle. Gave it back for Hodgson, and Hodgson was a sitting duck for Mark Hughes. Gower for Anasta. Anasta for Menzies. Menzies is over the halfway line. There he's tackled by Kamali. Or Masri. To the left for a kick from Sherwin. And it is with Patton now. Teammate to teammate. Patton fires it off over there to Tamana Tahu. On the right side, Gidley, Simpson, 3 of the Knights. We go there next Friday night, Newcastle, for their clash with the Warriors. Here's a nice little pass, ending with John Morris tackled on halfway. Parsons, well, the Knights are putting it together. Hill, back for Morris.
Yeah, the front row is doing well there. Paul Stringer, a lovely little ball to Morris, and then Matt Parsons followed it up next ruck with an offload. Slow play, the ball doesn't help their cause.
Feeney. Tackled by De Vere. Hughes. Kamali. Kicks for his right flank man, Tahu, but above them was Matt Guy.
He is in really good touch at the moment, Matt Guy. I've seen the Melbourne Storm's games in the first 2 months, and he's just got better every week. Even played a little bit of halfback the other day. And of course, he did play 3 games for New South Wales in 1999 and didn't let anybody down.
Back up. No, he's right. He's gone forward.
Marco Muili. Graham. Feeney. Dragging around the legs. Nasta reefing it down the ground with that big right foot of his. Tahu off the 10. And around the bootlaces is Kevin McGuinness. 200 tackles made by Country. 169 by City. Gidley across and then to Feeney, but they're going to lose ground. Ball comes out the back, picked up by Andrew Ryan, and they're just inside the 30-metre line, their own end of the park. Fitzgibbon. Morris. Parsons. First State of Origin, Wednesday week, 22nd. And you'll see that live and exclusive here on 9. Oh, Hill with a great ball to Patton. Last tackle now. 35 out from the line. Hill's in the action again. Now Gidley turns it back. Fitzgibbon is with it. That's the last tackle. That is the turnover.
That's a lot better play from Country. They're starting to put some nice play together. Scott Hill, the man who's setting them alight. Good ball, this one. Going down on the tackle, and good support play from Luke Patton.
20-4 though. With City increasing their halftime advantage by 6 points. And game 1 of the Origin series for this year. Wednesday, 22 May, Stadium Australia. 2 matches in Sydney, 1 in Brisbane, and all 3 live and exclusive on your Rugby League channel, Channel 9. Where you're watching Friday night football, the first of our rep games. And Craig Wing, his first touch. It's a one-on-one tackle. And the ball came loose. Feeney for Kamali. Kamali running out of troops, so he goes back the other way. And eventually he's run down. Did he lose the ball? Hughes. Stringer. lost it there, Kamali, but let's have a look.
Well, I think Craig Wing should have been penalised as well, so there's probably a couple of decisions in there.
Kamali, no way did he lose it. I take that back. Here he is again now, working, trying to get players running. Hughes outside him, and then the ball for Jason Moody. Moody playing the ball inside the 10-metre line. Kamali in there again. So too Scott Hill. A floating pass. A speculator. Picked up somehow freakishly, but it's gone forward.
Yeah, pass thrown there. Some promising play once again from a Scott Hill pass. It's a beauty. On this side, there was a decoy, I felt, offered an obstruction by Jamie Feeney. He was let go. Struggling Moody there. And on the other side, beautiful pass here from Scott Hill. The City defence coming up and in. Over the top it goes. And this is a pass that's thrown with the back turned and just goes forward. Another wasted opportunity.
He's having an unhappy night, Matt Gidley. Thought there was just a simple offload there to Craig Fitzgibbon, who in turn could have found the winger. He's missed a few tackles tonight, Matt Gidley. Not one of his best games. He is on a side, in a side that are trailing by 16. Strong defence from Fitzgibbon.
O'Mealy, 8 changes made by Country, 7 by City, which is quite incredible when you consider they're playing a man down and have been basically since the first tackle of the night. And so little Muzzer, little Artie as he used to be called, is getting every available ounce out of them. His wing, and he could provide big danger for Country. Little kick, Anasta's after it. The bounce beat Anasta, taken down by Feeney, and he was tackled by Wing. Now it is Tahu going into the middle of the ground, looking for work. Played back for Gidley, and it is a penalty. It's against the Markers. It is their pet hate this year. Keep the Markers square, otherwise you give a penalty. John Morris taking the tap, and Paul Stringer takes a head. 30-metre line there. City's end of the ground. And the maroon jumpers of Country look for a gap. And they're going to have to find one pretty shortly. We've only got a quarter of the game to go. Here's Morris, who's played all over the park for Newcastle this year and played with tremendous distinction. Kamali for Hill. Hill gets it back for Patton to go in and score. That was a lovely pass from Scott Hill. It had to be. The old firm, Kamali Hill, and then Patton ran at the gap, and the ball was on his stomach.
He's lovely with the football in his hands. Scott Hill sums it up, realises that the straight man is the best option. Some grabbing defence there, which is unusual because Kevin McGuinness has defended magnificently tonight. It's good line running here by the fullback. Run straight into the hole. A couple of grabs there.
I think what happened there, Peter, I thought Braithen Astor just hung back just a fraction. That opened up a hole for Patton to get through and force McGuinness to come in and try and make the tackle. But Scott Hill, the last 15 minutes with the football, has been unstoppable. He's been the linchpin of all the Country's attack and been playing very well. And this battle, probably for one of the bench spots between Braithen Astor and Scott Hill, is really warming up. Who will they pick?
Patton, he's enjoying it. Luke, he's involved in his own personal battle with Brett Hodgson. He's not really concerned about Scott Hill and his opposing Braithen Astor. Fitzgibbon, the flags are up. Converted try. Country coming back. Sunday we go to Shark Park. Braithen Astor kicks off at 20-10. We've got about 18 minutes of our first rep game of the year to go. The Kellogg's Neutral Grain Country versus City Origin match. 10-point ball game. Toyota Park Sunday. Sharks Parramatta. Hindmarsh will play for Parramatta. Question mark on David Peachey. Will he play? Gee, I hope he does. And that would then open up another question. Will they risk him with basically no football? Because I would think he's the preferred fullback, fit and healthy. Kamali's kick straight down the throat of Hodgson. Oh, gee. Just looked probably worse than it was. Gidley the tackler. O'Mealy. Geyer. Hopewadi's with him. But Geyer had his own problems. 3 defenders taking him down. Quick play the ball. Craig Wing. In, out, around, looking for runners. Can't find one. Well, they were there, but he couldn't get the ball away. Here's McGuinness doing exactly what Craig Wing did and exactly what Matt Geyer did. And Asta's pass to ground, and Moody got a hand to it. It's play on. Il Masri, little ground to work in, and it goes over the dead ball line. Oh, that was... I might have read it wrong, but Luke Patton, he has shadowed it without touching it.
Well, he's had a few problems this year in this situation. Well, I guess he's learnt. He's touched that. He's dead set touched that. It's come off his body. And he's got away with it.
He's breasted it across the dead ball line.
Touch it. He's nearly been winded. He's touched it that hard. How'd they miss that?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Paul. I first thought it was a brilliant piece of work by him, but with the advantage of slow-mo, you can see that it's come off his chest.
And 3 replays that we looked at.
That's right.
How did they miss it?
How did they miss it? Yeah, thanks, Fat. Here's a whistle. Stringer now. Robbie Kearns has got a problem. We'll find out about that in a moment. Here's Mark Hughes, taken by El Masri, coming in with De Vere. Yes, Andrew?
Yeah, Robbie Kearns has seen his last football for the night. He's got an ankle injury. Bad news for Robbie, bad news for the Melbourne Storm, who have a 3 o'clock match tomorrow against the Roosters.
Storm players have actually chartered a flight. They're flying home or back to Sydney tonight following this game as Kamali goes high. Hodgson well placed. Takes it nicely.
Geyer. They took the ball from this area on their last set of 6. Here's McGuinness, another one of the players I was about to refer to. They just took dummy half run. Very simple stuff. Just outside their 30-metre line. Nothing too flash. O'Mealy away for a Nasta, who thinks there's a gap there. Morris hangs on. Fitzgibbon is there. Morris hanging on there like a lead weight and then tackling Craig Wing. You can see the enthusiasm and the exuberance with which some of these players have grabbed their first rep jumpers. They can't get enough of it. This is one of them, the 7 for City, and Johnny Morris. They're just loving it, aren't they?
Well, Ray, some of the best players tonight are players who may not come into calculations, as we see a test done on Luke Bailey. I mentioned Brent Sherwin. Kevin McGuinness has been outstanding tonight. Craig Gower's been great, yet they're names that probably wouldn't be named on us this Sunday night.
And Nick Graham, I mean, he's a bit of an old stager at this stage, but playing in the rep footy, and 31 tackles, 32 tackles now, 11 hit-ups. He's had the best work rate of any player out there.
Feeney, Menzies and Scandalis making the tackle.
John Hopewadi is another one. He's had a super game.
Perry getting it out for Morris, who's unable to do anything with it, and then O'Mealy flops on top of him. Kamali, and that's Fitzgibbon. 54-46. City's always had the better of possession. It was quite mountainous earlier in the game. Here's Gidley looking for that one-handed pass. He holds them away with the inside arm and flicks it normally to Tahu. Having drawn the winger in, it didn't quite work for them there though. He would dearly like something to go right for him, Matt Gidley, tonight. Andrew.
Yeah, just a further point on John Hopewadi. He's actually been playing in the forward pack for the last 6 minutes, but if you notice in this scrum packing down right now, Hopper's having a little break on the wing and Matt Geyer is packing in the second row. I wonder what his brother Mark thinks of that.
De Vere. He mightn't even be a member of the union. And Asta. Hopewadi's off now. Skandalis putting another stamp of approval on his game. Here's Wing. And Craig is on his way. Craig Wing scores. Limited opportunity. Big men tiring. And fleet-footed Craig Wing scores.
Here's a prolific try scorer, Craig Wing. The Roosters' leading try scorer last season, despite coming off the interchange bench on most occasions. This year, cemented a starting lineup spot with that great evasion, the left foot step, the speed. Beats one country defender and all of a sudden he's into open space. Jamie Feeney couldn't match it with him. Throws a little dummy to keep Scott Hill interested in the outside support player.
Yeah, let's put that try down to the skill and agility of Craig Wing. He's done that to plenty of players in his career. Scores most of his tries from dummy half, just scooting out, looking for support. Had support on the outside. That's what kept the other players interested on the outside. And he's just had enough speed to get through there.
So City running away with this game now.
Well, this is the time of the game with about 10 minutes remaining where it's out of reach of the countryside. I know there's still rep jumpers on the line, but they have given it their best shot. And this is where now the players start to think about, well, you know, we're playing the Eagles tomorrow, we're playing Melbourne. I've got to look after myself for the last 10 minutes, make sure I'm fit for tomorrow or Sunday.
Just one question, Peter and Paul, who did you tip in this game?
We all tipped country.
I tipped country to win by a country mile. Good judges. What did you do, Snork?
I tipped country, right? And I'd like to thank you for bringing that up.
My pleasure. De Vere. From 20 metres in from touch.
They haven't lost yet. It's looking a little bit sad, but I'm not giving up hope.
De Vere, who scored a couple of tries in the first half. He's got this one. Just for a moment I thought he was horribly offline tonight. We'll take a break. It is 26 to 10. 10 minutes to go, and Nostradamus said they're not beat yet. Kumali, shallow restart. Moody's looking for it. The bat down is beautiful. Straight down to De Vere for City. That's becoming more and more of a ploy, and it's also been measured by defensive teams. Let them bat it down. Just make sure you bat with them to get the bat down. Penalty goes to City. 26-10. This was the shallow kick from Kumali. The bat down from Moody is good. But De Vere waiting for it. And City came up with the ball. 3-3 the penalties. They have been at a minimum. O'Mealy just thrusting himself at the defence. He hasn't played the football before the line at all tonight. Not that he's renowned for it, but he doesn't mix it up very much. Interchanges are nearly expired for both. And Nasta, oh! It's been knocked on, but Kumali looked up. 75 metres of green turf in front of him, but down.
This is always a chance when you're playing such a flat defence, a flat attack on occasions, going to the line. Very small margin of error. And speaking of errors, 9-7 against the country boys. It's Craig Gower in at half-back now. Lovely ball to Braithen Astor. He gets up.
Not held, and the country player is hurt.
It's Scott Hill, Ray.
Well, they've lost Kearns. Robbie's injured. And now Scott Hill is injured. It's a bad night for the Storm. Hodgson for centre, and he's put it down. It is Scott Hill that's injured, and referee Tim Mander stopping play.
How wide Braithen Astor is from this scrum. Getting outside his man. This country look to do something. They've got to attack from their own line. Defence is willing. Let's hope there's no problem, major problem for Scott Hill. He's in great form, a wonderful player. Had too many injuries last year. I hate to think that he might have picked one up in the closing minutes of this rep game.
Still got 2 interchanges left, Graham Murray, and he's got a 16-point lead with 8 minutes to go. Fitzgibbon. Kumali. Busy night by Kumali. Nobody can deny that. Andrew Ryan's pass has sent Moody back to his 20, and now he's out to his 30. Three-man tackle stopping Moody, who started off with the jitters. Morris finds himself in another place now. He's at 5'8", if I'm reading it right. Kamali, right foot kick down to Brett Hodgson. This will be City's biggest win in Origin football since 1987. Since it started back in that year. They won 22-12 in 1991. Coach Murray and assistant Bert Kenny. I better call him by his right name before somebody tells me that I'm wrong. Brett. Now O'Mealy. 40-metre line. Gower to the halfway mark. Got all the skills, Gower. And he looks to me as though tonight he struck a bit of his old form. 14-7.
Yep, onside.
That stat just rolling through. Finding the line now. Off the boot of Braithen Astor. Complete night tonight, this youngster. Left foot kick that time. Kicks off both feet. Closing it down.
Craig Gower probably appreciates tonight Ray playing in a winning team. Hasn't cracked it for a win yet with the Penrith side. And that might transfer. He might go back. They play the Bulldogs on the weekend, and the energy and that he'll get from this win tonight just might transfer. You know, he might lead them well on Sunday.
So you're tipping Penrith team?
Oh no, the Bulldogs are certain. But you never know.
Penalty against Darren Centre there. Tim Mander penalising for him raking the ball out after the tackle had been completed. Centre was of the opinion that the country player contributed as much as he did. Andrew Ryan playing it back for Simon Woolford. Bailey running decoy for Parsons. Parsons throwing Skandalis away, and Skandalis doesn't like it. Now they go in and hammer him. Three of them.
See a scrappy play the ball. Simon Woolford picks up Andrew Voss on the sideline. 5 to go. You've had the best seat in the house all night. As country go wide, I'll come back to you in a moment.
Here's Patton in from the back. Luke Patton looking for number 2. Here is Tahu. Tamana gets another. 26-14.
Yeah, beautiful play from the countryside. A little bit too late, of course. And some good offloads here. That was a desperation pass, but then they find some space out wide. The defence not well read at all. One of those passes that Gidley is used to throwing out the back onto a flying Luke Patton, and even more flying Tamana Tahu.
He's more flying in a moment here, as you can see Kevin McGuinness. He had plenty of coming at him, and they got on the outside. Once that happened with the speed, it was always going to be impossible to stop. Menzies did well to try and get back there. Lovely flick pass from Matt Gidley. That's come off for him tonight. Luke Patton outside Matt Geyer, trying to grab. Not a very good attempt to tackle there from Matt Geyer, and then it was just a matter of positioning the inside man. He was more flying.
That's right, and there's the conversion attempt. It is successful. Try scorer Tamana Tahu, 26-16. Andrew.
But Ray, only 4 minutes remaining. I guess it's time to start looking at the blokes who have really excelled tonight, that have improved their chances. And this man, John Skandalis, he's going to end up playing around about 48, maybe 50 minutes tonight, John Skandalis. But I really think he's been just about the best front rower. Robbie Kearns, outstanding as well while he was on the field for City. But John Skandalis, that's tops, has worked really, really hard. Another player who I think has certainly probably earned a New South Wales jumper tonight is John Hopewadi. I mean, when he was on the field, he was opposed to the man that we think is already in the Blues side, that's Tamana Tahu, but I think he's gone just as well as Tamana, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's Tahu and Hopewadi on the wings for the Blues.
Well, Rossi, that's what I was going to ask you before that try was scored, your impression of the key positions. What about just quickly the fullback?
Oh, look, I still think it's very, very even, and yeah, I think David Peachey, if he proves his fitness and has a good game on Sunday against Parramatta, I think he still will wear the number 1 jumper for New South Wales.
And these comments from Andrew, not to be treated lightly, of course. His stablemate is the coach of the New South Wales Blues. They provide us with boots and all every Sunday, so if anybody's got an ear to the ground, Andrew has.
I've had the occasional chat with him.
Yes, I know you have. Here is Bailey now. Boots and all Sunday at 12 o'clock. The New South Wales coach and Andrew Voss. As Kamali puts a kick in off the outside edge, and Tahu! He's done it again! Puts a kick in, but it's gone out on the full.
There's an interesting play here from Matt Geyer. He wasn't even worried about the football. He just kept his eye on the player coming through. He probably could have caught that, but he just took his eye off the ball and tried to hang on to Tahu. Ball was coming out right next to him. Anyway, he got him in the end, and the kick went out.
Just under 2 minutes of this match remaining as a seemingly groggy John Hopewadi plays the ball. 10-8 the errors. Country. They use the short side well. Geyer on the end of a trio of passes. The kick down the ground. That's how much room they've got to work in. And Patton so close to that try line and in fact forcing it. It's Bailey. This was Geyer working in a little channel. He ran out of the field of play. Then Patton goes very close to coming to rest on the try line.
And I've got a knock on here by the Country team as we come into the final minute.
Well, it's been a wonderful promotion for the game down here that the town has been talking about. This, Graham Murray being congratulated, talking about this and the footy show last night. McGuinness got hands to it. It went behind him. De Vere, and it's forced by Luke Patton. It will be a line dropout, but they probably won't have enough time for that. An enjoyable night for Michael De Vere. He's done well too, Luke Patton. I agree with Andrew, though. It'd be very hard to separate the fullbacks on what we've seen tonight. Line dropout taken quickly. De Vere tackled from behind by Moody. And Manders claiming that he didn't have the football.
Still did take him out, okay?
And he's penalised Moody. So City will get one last shot at it. Darren centre. Seconds remaining, and the crowd at Eric Weisel Oval here in Wagga counting it out. Hazem El Masri is the last player with the football. And the City Origin side has won. 26 points to 16. An unfortunate night for Nathan Long. He was taken out with injury after a minute. Coach Graham Murray, he's had his ups and downs in the coaching area since this corresponding match last year. There's his counterpart, Brian Smith. A 10-point margin in favour of City over Country here in Wagga Wagga tonight.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.